People were worried that Gunna's career would end as he gained weight and was accused of being a snitch. Thug, Durk, and Lil Baby were all making fun of him. He got expelled from YSL from the rap scene. Gunna was actually being black. Gunna came out of jail hotter than ever, dropping multiple Billboard-topping albums and numerous viral hits, literally outperforming the rappers who were making fun of him for allegedly despite the fact that it seemed like everyone was trying to bring him down. Sincerely, Gunna's separation from those rappers allowed him to flourish while they were all now having difficulties. This is how Gunna was able to save his career. Look, Gunna was booming in 2022, just before the YSL Rico trial. Hit songs including Drip Too Hard of Lil Baby, Lemonade with Don Toliver, Yosemite, Hotto, Okay, Can't Leave Without It, and Sold Out Dates were among his hits. Gunna's most famous album, DS4, was released just 3 months prior to his imprisonment. P, Power, and Push and P were two of the project's amazing hits. Both made their Billboard Hot 100 debuts in the top 30, and the project as a whole did incredibly well, selling 150,000 sales in its first week and reaching the top spot, a remarkable accomplishment given that he defeated The Weeknd. He was undoubtedly one of the world's most well-known artists. Even though Thug revealed in a recently leaked jail phone call that the album was indeed spotted, he still had 2 huge hits and was unquestionably one of the hottest rappers at the moment. It would have done incredibly well, even if it hadn't been botted. The irony is that, in my opinion, he was more than just a popular rapper. A whole new Atlanta era was defined by his sound. Gunna was the one with the melodic, opulent, and effortlessly fluid rhyming style. Naturally, however, everything fell apart in May 2022, the trial of YSL Rico. Furthermore, I won't even discuss it. By now, I believe everyone is aware of what transpired. The Fulton County crackdown on gang crime would result in the arrest of Thug Gunna and 26 other members. In the end, Gunna accepted that Alfred plea deal and was supposedly the first to do so. He acknowledged that YSL was a gang that needed to stop, and because he was the first to accept the plea, Thug said it set off a chain reaction that caused the majority of the other YSL members to follow in Gunna's footsteps. Gunna would receive a suspended term as part of this plea agreement, which would eventually result in his release from prison on December 14, 2022. Now Gunna remained mute. In contrast to other rappers who attempted to make a big splash and release a song on their first day out of jail, he remained silent. It was most likely because he was unaware of the true situation. He was unsure if YSL was still playing tricks on him. He remained silent and made sure that when it did fall, it said a lot because he was unsure if thugs thought he was a rat. Now, I would say that the narrative was working in his favor. Even though he wasn't posting much on social media or releasing any music, his release was being devoured by the casuals, the internet, and the typical fans, while Lil Baby and Lil Durk were sitting on Twitter and in interviews calling Gunna a rat and other such things. When the news footage of Gunna leaving FTN County Jail began to circulate online, it was first and foremost his physical transformation. The majority of individuals ignored the accusations of sin. Keep in mind that these are regular citizens. To everyone's surprise, Gunna was in excellent health.
Do you believe that Gunna told?
Man, I don't sit up and play games, man. That man told. You should have went in there and kept your mouth closed.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought you were trying to reverse it. I'm like,
hell no. If you a rat, you a rat. And if you rewind this clip a little bit, I looked into the camera and I told you, if you a rat, I fucking hate you. 'Cause I love Thug.
Therefore, the mainstream media covered his weight loss while academics and DJ Vlad concentrated on covering the beef and the diss, and it's still visible today. Gunna is doing run clubs and getting viral for modeling for Under Armour, while Thug sits there doing interviews and whining that he was obviously making the better choices from the start. He just changed his name. He was now more interested in health and lifestyle than the stereotypical slim sipper street rapper, which undoubtedly helped him reach a larger audience. And it appears that's what people are interested in seeing these days. When you can listen to someone who maintains his swag while projecting a great image, why would anyone want to emulate a drug-addled overweight rapper? In addition, the fact that he remained silent was a huge benefit. Words are not as powerful as actions. Gunna was cooped up, working on himself and new songs, while Thug, Durk, and Baby were sobbing, teasing, and gossiping on Twitter like some adolescent high school ladies, which 99% of fans don't give a damn about. Because, as we are well aware, being called a rat may quickly ruin your job. At least it used to be the case. Perhaps as early as the 2000s. Everything simply vanishes, including your street image and reputation. The problem is that things have changed. There has never been a greater gap between mainstream likability and street believability. Those street regulations are not followed by the majority of today's streaming music enthusiasts. What interests them more is whether it sounds well in the automobile. Gunna was given the last laugh because of this.
Like, people was mad about Gunna. I don't give a fuck if Gunna told on everybody. Nigga, bro, yeah, yeah. Nigga, I'm not a, what the fuck is that? I'm not a thug. Nigga, I ain't in no gang. That ain't got shit to do with me, bitch. I listen to what I want to listen to.
For instance, if we contrast Gunnar's release with that of 6ix9ine, who embraced the snitch narrative, he attempted to navigate it by trolling. He went all out with the rat character whenever someone clowned him. He was raucous, disorganized, and attention-hungry. Gunnar, however, took the exact opposite action. He did not even admit it. He simply vanished, got in shape, stopped making music, and pretended that nothing had happened. It was also shrewd because the internet runs out of gasoline to meme if you don't contribute to it. They therefore have nothing to post on Twitter to get likes and hits, nothing to cite, and nothing to clip. Thus, the hatred simply vanished on its own. Gunnar was creating amazing albums and releasing hits in the interim, which brings us to his first release, upon his release from prison, Gift on a Curse. Gunnar's fourth studio album was released 6 months after his first, with a strong first-week sales of 85,000 and a debut at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 200. It was an enormous hit. The fact that he achieved a huge hit, Fu Mean, his third top 10 single, peaking at number 4, was, in my opinion, the most significant aspect of his record. This demonstrated to us that Gabe was amazing despite Gunnar's history of stress, legal issues, jail time, and former friends' attempts to blackball him. Keep in mind that the average person doesn't actually listen to CDs. Chart statistics and sweet sales are irrelevant to them. All they want to listen to is summer music. Most of the people who listen to FIN are probably unaware of the definitions of YSL and in any case, this can be compared to Thug's first endeavor after being released from prison. His endeavor was a complete failure. It was embarrassing to see the cover art. Furthermore, the entire endeavor was a complete humiliation. It did a very bad job. To gain some recognition, he had to sing a song that was a hard R additionally. Ken Carson's feature ended up becoming the project's most streamed song. In the first week, that song received 10% of the total number of streams. Young Thug left in sorrow. Desperate, he went out. He was obviously not paying attention to the music. Like really, instead of genuinely attempting to concentrate on the music, he was obviously too preoccupied with that fucking phone, tweeting, gossiping, and attempting to blackball Gunnar. Because of this, despite having a deluxe and all those amenities, he only sold 52,000 units, a significant decrease from his last effort. Young Thug, in my opinion, is also the ideal analogy since it demonstrates the significance of one's appearance. He was consistently regarded as the trailblazing Atlanta legend who set the standard and delivered hits. He is now viewed as the obese jerk who spends his entire day tweeting, literally the antithesis of Gunnar. Gunnar dropped bangers and was shredded. Compare whatever I said to Gunnar, and it's easy to see why he's doing well. He has been extremely popular since his release from prison because of his flawless appearance, which perfectly complements the kind of music he promotes, or even rekindled his career without blowing it up. Get rid of all the generic rappers with weapons, leaning, pills, and so forth. Gunna is leading a new trend that promotes a good way of living that people can genuinely identify with. Following the publication of Gift Under Curse, Gunnar would perform in 2 shows. One sold out at the 20,000-seat Barclays in New York, and another at the 6,000-seat YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. This demonstrated to us that Gunnar's post-jail hoopla was accompanied by real-life traction. Public interest in Gunnar's performance was high. No special guests or openers were present. By alone, he was able to sell out the Barclays. You all recall Lil Baby calling Gunnar a rat, don't you? This rat appears to be more successful and superior to Lil Baby in some way. Ironically, he was hardly selling any tickets to his own gigs at this time.
So if you look, it says Lil Baby's tour is canceling dates because of lack of tickets. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Lil Baby can sell tickets. Not great. I don't think his last project is the best project to go on like a big ass arena tour on. And I think if you ask me, I don't think Baby's a failure. I know some people want to just shit on him because we haven't seen eye to eye, but no. I think the project wasn't as strong as it could be. He just probably canceled those venues.
One of the best ways to tell if a rapper is hot is to see if they sell actual tickets. You may be influential online, but can you sell an arena with 20,000 people? Since Lil Durk and Lil Baby frequently go on joint tours to boost their numbers, it appears that they are having difficulties. However, Gunna is working alone.
Coming out, going to New York, and you hear me?
It's one of the best feelings in the world that I never forget. And I just can go back to that time anytime and just be like, damn, like my fans really came through for me. I got diehard fans.
Gunna would release his second album since his release from prison the following year. In 2024, in an interview with XXL on April 15, 2024, Gunna disclosed the album's title and described his intention to grow not just musically, but also personally with the record, because I've been more disciplined. This album continues to demonstrate my development as a man. I've been using a variety of resources. I've been residing at a new location that sounds like it's in the song. I'm being creative by making sounds, playing various melodies, and tapping my voice. You seem to have noticed my evolution. With several singles, the album would go on to become a bigger smash than his previous one, selling 91,000 copies in its first week and moving up one slot to the second spot on the album's chart. Hakuna Matata, One on One Tonight, and more songs that are currently among Gunnar's greatest hits throughout his career. Even though I've been giving Gunna a lot of credit in this video, there is a small problem with his music that has surfaced, and that is that it is repetitious. The last one, his most recent 2025 publication, primarily addressed this. Gunna's sixth album, which is aptly titled The Last One, is ostensibly the final one in his contract with YSL. The comments that Gunna's music is monotonous, repetitive, and will put you to sleep began to get a lot of traction at this time. There are much too many songs, and many of them sound really identical, right from the first listen. I wish he would try a little more, but he's flowing on it. To be honest, this video does a fantastic job of illustrating it. I can't wait to be let down by half of these songs and then play the other half till I forget.
Yeah. Came out the bottom, I kinda whole lot of y'all.
I think it's difficult to argue with the reality that Gunnar's projects are excessively bloated. Regardless of how much you adore him, it's not an awful song. It would be fantastic if there were about 13 to 15 tracks. Since 20-track projects are so forced and superfluous these days, it's difficult for an artist like Gunna, who uses a lot of identical beats and flows, to create an album that doesn't seem like one giant song. He might have done this on purpose, after all, because a 25-track album suddenly makes a lot of sense. If you're a Gunna, and you owe YSL, one last thing before you're free. You complete your contract, flood the track list, and leave without a hitch. Perhaps it was his tactic. Complete the contract, deliver some hits to the audience, and then proceed to the next phase of your career with complete autonomy from a new record deal. It is likely that he will receive tens of millions of dollars for a huge record deal. There are still some excellent songs on the album overall. Just say that, we're getting AF tonight. Debuting in third place and selling 8OK in the first week, all in all, he has performed consistently across his last 3 albums. In my opinion, Gunna is a fantastic hitmaker who is comparable to Lil Tecca. However, when it comes to albums, he lacks that breadth and diversity to keep you interested, or at least to try and make you not fall asleep when you're listening. Perhaps the lack of a greater variety of producers to have a greater option of sounds is a producer issue. Perhaps this was just a hastily completed, bloated project to get Gunna out of his agreement with YSL as soon as possible. Additionally, Gunna's upcoming album will be fully developed, and will either be released on its own, or as part of his new contract. We'll just have to wait and see. To be honest, however, it seems to me that Gunna is not really interested in albums. He creates hits. As long as he can have a great summer single every year, people will continue to love him, and he'll continue to shine as one of the biggest rappers. Not only that, but his branding and appearance are flawless. We live in a very entrepreneurial age, when it's important to focus on and develop oneself, if you understand what I mean, and Gunna is the ideal performer for that way of life. If you need anything to motivate you in the morning, make you feel good while you're at the gym, when you're working, Gunna is that artist. It's not only the music either. He is a model for Under Armour, you see? He is concentrating on himself, running marathons in the gym, and avoiding small-minded arguments and insults. While Baby halted the release of his last album, and Dirk, who is currently sitting in jail, facing the death penalty, Thug's album failed and he is now viewed as an embarrassment. Gunna is growing despite the fact that less than 0.001% of people are aware of or even concerned about the alleged ratting. While his former close buddies who are now his foes would love a feature from him, his fans adore him. However, that point has passed. After being blackballed, many believed Gunna's future would be dismal after he was freed from prison. His exclusion from the Atlanta trap culture, however, most likely saved his life because, what if Gunna had been released from prison, reconnected with Thug, and released an album featuring the same old artist Lil Baby, 21 Savage, and so forth? He has been dropping it for years, and it would have been exactly the same. However, this circumstance compelled him to leave that scene and change, which ultimately worked out. So, please share your ideas in the comments section below. Was his career saved by Gunna? Do you currently like his music? And are you looking forward to his next projects? I hope you all had fun. Comment, like, and subscribe.